Hey everybody, welcome to this new live stream. Today I'm with Chad, who's in, I think you're in Charlotte, right? Can you hear me, Chad?
Yeah, we're in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh yeah, okay, so
Yes.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, nice. I think Mike last time was also in Charlotte, so it seems like we have like many users in your city. That's really cool. And Chad was like was the first person to launch a UI kit on WeWeb, so called WeWebUI, and we're going to talk about this today. Hey everybody, so I see that there are many people in the chat. Feel free to present yourself and to say hi. And yeah, we'll begin by first, maybe you can present yourself, Chad, like what you are doing and how you got to WeWeb, because I think you're one of our like earliest user, if I'm right.
The first time I spoke to someone at WeWeb, I don't think it was an app builder yet.
It was still a
And
website
so I
builder.
took a little, yeah, it was a little
Nice.
while ago.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah,
like two
but
years ago, something. Yeah, nice,
it was a while. It was at least 2 years ago. Yeah.
cool. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, so if you want to introduce yourself, feel free to do it. And yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So my name's Chad. I'm in Charlotte. I've been a product designer, an experienced designer for about 10 years. Started off in large companies like Walmart Labs and then went to more like startups.
Mhm.
Uh, so yeah, WeWeb is the perfect combo of being able to take some of the experience and then go straight to dev, and it's
Nice,
great.
nice. And so, if I remember
Yeah.
well, you began with some projects on WeWeb before to go to WeWeb UI.
Yeah, started off using it. So I found WeWeb as an employee of a
Hmm.
company, and then we use it to build. It was a manufacturing
Oh,
company. We used it to build like this like RFID scanning thing, which is pretty cool. And it's still working today, which is
nice,
great. It was built a long time ago. But that was the introduction, and then we sold that. Like, man, many people need software cheaper, and
nice.
that kind of led to some agency, and then WeWebUI.
That's really cool. Yeah. So, how did you get to the idea of creating a UI kit for WeWeb? Because I mean, back in the day, even now, we still
Mm,
don't have a marketplace. I know it's coming, and we'll maybe talk
mm.
about this later. But like, how did you get to this idea and implementing it? Yeah.
Um, so Slavo was incredibly kind, and I remember posting on Twitter. I said, would anybody ever be interested in this whenever WeWeb makes it available? I think he posted a comment, "I can do you one better." He's like, "We can transfer the projects."
Nice.
So we can transfer the projects. So it started as like a UI kit that I just used internally for my own clients,
Hmm.
and then just posting some images on Twitter. A couple of videos, people are like, "Hey, can I, pay this kit?" And that's when Slavo kind of
Nice.
responded, and that's the birth of WeWeb UI.
Nice, because yeah, the
Yeah.
way it works right now for people maybe that don't know is that you can use WeWeb UI from Chad, and if you want to use it, actually what we do is that we copy the project to your workspace, if I'm right. So it's still a bit like I don't know, like early, so we still need to copy it, but it's kind of the first thing that made us think that we will need a
Mm.
marketplace. And by the way, the marketplace is coming in November, hopefully, with the new components, so you'll be able to
Wow.
use Chad's UI kits in an
Mm.
easier way. But yeah, like I mean, that was a nice way for us also, and thank you for this to try this, like kind of a proof of concept. And
Yeah.
I know that everybody want to see the UI kit, but maybe you can present what you've done and how the components are working. And yeah, that could be really cool so that people
Sure.
see.
Yeah, that's great. So we made the UI kit. Um, we made the UI kit free as of I think 1 month ago.
Hmm.
And the reason for doing it was because, I mean, one, I think we released like 70 or 80 components, and then we got some clients based off of the components that, hey, great kit, can you also implement? And just to be really honest with you,
Yeah.
the experience of implementing my own design system was terrible.
Uh-huh.
Um, it was difficult. I got
Mhm.
my own system. It's like I had to like do a lot of learning.
Yeah.
Um, but nonetheless, people, were using it, which is great. So maybe we can get into some of the changes to WeWebUI, but the components um, are not using the WeWeb classes yet. That will be an upgrade, I think, maybe once some of the maybe marketplace comes live.
Yeah, and because that was new,
Um,
I think you began even before the classes. Yeah,
yeah,
so yeah, no worries. And yeah,
yeah, just whenever,
no,
yeah.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's like whenever you copy from project to
Yeah.
project, I don't know if the classes always transfer, so we decided to not do that
Yeah,
just yet.
yeah, that's the thing because I think we
Um,
did talk about this during the office hours on Tuesday with Flo. It's
hmm,
that we're totally revamping the design systems because it's an old thing that dates back from when you started WeWeb, and now we want to adapt it to the marketplace and the UI kits and the templates. So in the end, you will be able to share classes, to share UI kits, everything. But that we need to revamp this first. So that's something we'll work on this month and next month, and then we'll come to the marketplace and also the new components. So what you will be able to do is that the kind of UI kit you've done, you'll be able to create it in a WeWeb Canva and totally share
mhm.
it and like have a parent also, that gets linked everywhere in your project. And if you update the parent, it will update everywhere.
Hmm. That's incredible. That's really
Nice.
exciting.
But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've put a bit of a pause on the kind of components we're building. We've have them designed and they're ready to go. That's why we converted to free. I felt a bit guilty, just charging for something that was difficult to use, and maybe wasn't fully functional. So I think we had like 12 subscribers. Now we have close to 75 or 80,
That's
which is
huge.
amazing.
Yeah.
And so
Congrats.
these are all people who will get components for free on a monthly basis. Once that goes live.
Yeah, cool.
So cool things. We've got buttons pretty standard. We've got 5 different permutations of the buttons. Obviously, the different kind of states, inputs. Really, we try to make it as clean as possible so that no matter what the palette of your application is, it should be able to blend in and feel somewhat
Mm.
natural. And that was really a benefit of working with, I think, 5 clients who bought the UI kit, is I could put the same component in 5 different applications and see how they all looked different in different people's tools.
Nice.
Um, so one thing we'd like to add is maybe like a sidebar that you
Mhm.
can actually paste your own colors, paste your own logo, and the entire UI kit will adjust
Yeah.
to show your brand before you download. So maybe that's something we'll work on
I
soon.
think even maybe if people have any components they would like to see in your UI kits, they could tell us in the chat because I know that, as you said, the UI kit
Sure.
is always improving. So if you have any recommendations, feel free to share them.
Yeah. There's been a few. I think there's been a few people who have sent us like long 3 and 4
Mm.
paragraph emails
Wow.
explaining their
Yeah.
pains and the UI kits they're using in Figma.
Hmm.
Um, so it's been really nice because they'll say, "Hey, these are the UI kit that I'm using from Figma." They'll send you the link and they say, "Can this be done in WeWeb?"
Mm.
So it's like, well, there's the roadmap. It's like right off the bat, which is pretty great.
I love this.
So these are just the basic elements here that are just standalone components. You can drop them into your application, and we need to add some documentation on how to use these and how to actually
Mm.
configure the variables and whatnot.
Yeah,
Um,
because
then
basically,
we said these are
yeah,
the
sorry, when you
yeah
share, for example, a component like the stepper, you're sharing also the variables, the workflows, I mean, everything.
yeah all of that's included, which is great. But again, one of the learnings from actually using my own UI kit with
Hmm.
clients is that it's very unclear. Like I didn't even though I built it, I got it into a brand new project, and it wasn't the easiest
Mm.
thing to use. So we need to improve that.
Okay.
Yeah,
But I love the design. It's
yeah,
really, I love the fact that it's really simple, but yet beautiful. It feels like a bit like Tailwind.
yeah. It does have some Tailwind inspiration into it, for sure, for sure. So we have the pieces. These are the smaller building blocks. Typically, with the UI kit, you have your primitives, and you have all these different,
Hmm.
logical or not like you get down like a very what's the word? A lot of lingo in the UX
Hmm.
world for how to build componentry. I don't know if people think like it was meant to be much more approachable. Uh, so
Yeah.
pieces the blocks, which are just some of the other components combined into different formats.
Yeah.
And then you've got your
Yeah.
templates, which is more of a full page experience, where if a user wants a sign up page, then we let them have by default the entire page ready to go with images, form containers, and the whole thing. Just need to change the color.
Yeah, so people asking questions already in the chat. Nice. So let me get them. 20 is asking, hello, thanks for sharing this. Is there a website or a place to discover the UI kits? Yeah, it's on WeWebUI.com. So I will share the website in the chat. So on this website, we'll talk about this later, but you've got the UI kit, but also now Chad is sharing courses on how to use the UI kit and also how to use WeWeb. But yeah, you can definitely go there, see the components because it's the published app. It's actually a WeWeb app for this website. Am I right? Yeah. So it's a published app. And then so Cosmer is asking, when do we get to test this? So if you want to use the UI kit, what we'll do is that we copy this workspace, this project to your workspace. So you'll get to copy the elements in your project. Maybe we can show this in the WeWeb editor, if that's okay with you, Chad, and how to use it.
Sure. And this is one thing we need to. We have a backlog of over 70 people who are waiting for this. So I apologize that it's taking time. We're just trying to work through the list, and it takes time to do the transfer. But so we come in here, R2, which is the latest release, and we just come in, we select what we'd like to duplicate, and then I type in
yes,
just the name of the file, and this is what's then. Yeah, we've chosen to duplicate instead of link for some different reasons, mainly because of WeWeb classes still improving. But this file then gets transferred to your workspace.
And then you get the. Can we show, for example, the stepper or in the editor? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, in the editor. Yeah.
Oh, in the editor, absolutely.
So that people get to understand how it will work in the editor or in their project.
Well, here's a sneak peek into the courses a bit. Maybe we can come back to it in a second. All right, let's see. One thing that maybe we need to optimize, we're loading, I don't know. I like the animations a lot. So whenever we do conditional rendering, I think some of the animations don't come quite properly. So we have actually a really large file here. But yeah, so here's the stepper. Let's see here, let me open up the action. There we go, the stepper div. So we've left navigator because what you do, so like you mentioned, you'll come in and you'll get the entire file, and then really you have to click on the component. It highlights it inside the navigator, and then the stepper div, you're able to copy that into your own project. So we try to name things to be as clear as possible.
That's cool. Because maybe people don't know, but if you copy the project to your workspace, so you actually get this page inside the project. But if you want to use it in another project, what you can do, because some people don't know this in WeWeb, but you can copy paste anything in WeWeb across workspaces, projects, sorry. So for example, if you've got like two pages open in your browser, like with two WeWeb projects, if you do a Command C, Command V, it will copy paste this stepper div inside your project. So then you're able to use Chad's UI kit.
Absolutely. Well, we recorded a couple of videos as well. So I think if you click this Save the Project UI kit, you can do this as well, which is quite nice. I think it just may be a lot of work if you have, like 70 or 80 components to create. But this is also quite a nice way to create an element. You can name it, place the screenshot, include all the variables by default, which is amazing.
Yeah.
This is probably the best way to do it that we've seen, because any variables that we created are automatically brought over. So especially like on the full page templates, where there's 10 or 15 variables, this is definitely a huge help.
Yeah, because basically this stepper, I imagine you've got a variable like to know on which step you are, and then the design is bound to this variable. And you've got also state. So everything gets copied to your project. Yeah, no, that's really cool.
It's incredible. And you're exactly right. So here we're tracking the position of the stepper.
Hmm.
So the user should be able to define if I need 2 or 10 steps,
Hmm.
right? So the stepper position just increments by 1 or -1
Oh, yeah,
as you
with the
have the trigger.
workflows. Nice.
Exactly. So within the project UI kit, you can also click on the example trigger and then look at the workflow that's taking place and bring that into your project as well.
Yeah, I really love it, because for people, you can even reverse engineer this and create your own UI kit on top of yours, because that's one way. I know I love to learn sorry, tools like this, but I love to reverse engineer templates, for example, or UI kits. And I think this is a really nice way, because from what I see here, like the way you name stuff, the way you've done the components, it's really state of the art, you know. So like best practice, I would say. So really, people can learn also from this. And Diane is asking,
Hmm.
what was the pass-through condition here, like in the workflow? Being a bit curious, yeah.
Um, just greater than 0.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. So we're just checking if it's greater than 0, and if so, then we're, I think, increasing by, I'm sorry, so let me go back. This is for the, I guess, removing 1 in the step. So we're not actually pulling this from any back-end data, so we can't really tell if this is the first or fourth step in the particular process. We've seen some people use it. I think one of the early WeWebUI users is using this to track the steps in a VC deal that's being closed. So they have an app to
Yeah,
track VC deals. Yeah, and so they're using it at different stages, and they're populating that from Sano, I believe. But we're
nice.
emulating that. So if it's greater than 0, we want to, if it's at 1, we bring it back to index 0. Otherwise, we do nothing. And then same thing here.
Cool.
If it's less than 4, because that's the maximum number we
Yeah.
have.
So that's really cool, because you get really all the logic of the component. I love it. And also the design. So you only have to change some small variables and maybe colors, and you're good to go.
Yeah. And hopefully not color soon. The idea would be to I would like to add a place here where you can add your own brand identity.
Yeah.
And so you can just copy paste. I
I
think it'd
think
be amazing.
we did a proof of concept with this, because our designer Luca wants to do this too. Is that you can bind your colors, like have a big object in your project with all your colors, and then have all the components bound to these colors, and you just have to change the colors in this object. And maybe we'll do an interface on top of this. That's many things we have to think about for the marketplace, by the way, because I know that people will especially change the colors, yeah, and the fonts. So yeah, definitely, that's something we'll do. And yeah,
And there's some great stuff on Twitter even. I know people, have some amazing tutorials about how to, create JSON with your color
yeah,
palette and then importing this into WeWeb. Just great
yeah,
stuff.
that's really cool. I think I've seen these tweets. I don't remember from whom.
Hmm.
'Cause, maybe it was Redek. I'm not sure, because
Yeah.
it's the guy that he
Read
also
it.
has done like the importing a library into WeWeb. That's really fun to see.
Yeah. And then
Yeah, JP
JP,
is
I
in the
think
chat, by the
JP
way.
Singh yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he did it. That's where I first saw it
nice.
from. It
The
was really
WeWeb
cool.
community helping each other.
Yeah.
And we have a remark from Cream UI. So I thought about a solution without having to send a new file to Slavo. So Slavo is a guy working in our company, by the way, kind of the sales guy at WeWeb. Would be to just be invited by the user client and then copy paste new stuff in here. So actually, we're not going to do this, because in November there will be the marketplace. So this will answer everything. I mean, what we show right now is what we used to do, but starting next month, if hopefully we're on time, because that's a big chunk. So maybe it will be in December, finger crossed. But yeah, Christmas present, you will get access to the marketplace. So we'll just have to say, yeah, I want this, and it will be added to your project, for example. But yeah, would be just a short-term solution. Actually, the roadmap is so crowded right now that we won't do a short-term solution before the marketplace. Yeah.
Yeah. That's exciting. We can wait. I think we're all
Yeah.
excited for it.
And Max is asking, Will we
Very
be able
cool.
to publish custom Vue.js components to the marketplace? I think yes, because the idea was initially to use like Vue.js components inside the marketplace, but we also released the components, like the fully no-code components at the same time. And the idea is that people can also design components using WeWeb and then treat them. I mean, in the end, it will create Vue.js components, but people don't have to code using JavaScript. But it's the same way you will have like your workflows encapsulated, maybe the logic of the component, like the variables, the internal variables that will be scoped to this component. So actually the end user won't see them, for example. So in a way, it's like coding components, but using our interface, but you will be definitely able to still code Vue.js components. And I think I wanted to add something else. No, I just forgot what I wanted to add also.
That's
But
pretty cool.
yeah, mainly like no-code components and Vue.js 1. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And one other cool thing about WeWebUI, we were a bit nervous to use the name WeWeb. Thank you guys very much for allowing
Yeah.
us to use this. But yeah, the purpose of it was to, I mean, I just want to say, any component on WeWebUI, we always put who suggested it, just because I'd say over half the components are suggestions by people who could use them right away. So thanks to everybody
Nice.
who's given a suggestion. It's been incredible to meet new WeWeb people as well.
That's really cool.
So.
And we have one question from Alfred for you, Chad. Like, have you considered including more advanced classes and subclasses in the new design system? I think, yeah, Chad was not using classes because he created WeWebUI before the classes. And as you said, you will maybe switch to classes in the following months, if I'm right.
Yeah, it's a great question. The only reason we haven't done classes yet is because the only way for you to use a component, if we create with classes, is to restart your project from
Yeah.
scratch. And we just, from what our experience, folks already have 20-50% of their project completed. So it's better to do copy paste until that functionality is ready in WeWeb.
Okay. Yeah, I get the idea. And also for like subclasses, it's maybe more for us, like at WeWeb. I think you can have only one depth of subclasses because UI-wise, it would be really hard to display in the editor. So that's a choice we made. We definitely want to add more, but right now we don't know how to present this because if you have like unlimited number of subclasses, it will get like really hard to display it in the sidebar. So yeah, but that's something we'll add in the end for sure. Yeah, and also what I think, maybe you will agree on this, Chad. It would be interesting to have your opinion, but I think that if we release the marketplace and you have UI kits like Chad's one, like the CSS, like the changes will be encapsulated in the component, so you won't have as much depth in the CSS because you will inherit from the components one already.
Yeah, very true. Absolutely.
And so someone is asking, is there a copy paste how to guide ready for already done or midway projects?
Is there a copy paste done for midway projects?
I think it's the same. You just copy paste the element.
You should be able to copy and paste any of the WeWeb UI elements, and hopefully the naming on the left is clear enough. We should work on that, but you can paste it directly into your project, and it will take on the exact same properties as how we created it. Yeah.
Cool. So maybe I want to talk about the courses now, because before the UI kit was a paid feature. Now it's for free, but you're selling courses around the UI kit. So it would be really interesting to see what you're doing and why you've done this move. Yeah.
Sure. So the purpose of us shifting into courses, and this is kind of the preview of the page. We have 2 courses that are going on pre-sale today. The reason that we switched to courses is because after using my own UI kit with actual clients, I realized that it wasn't just as straightforward. There's actually some level of configuring this with your collections, setting up the variables to make sense. So really what the courses are meant to do is take maybe one single component. In this case, let's take the stacking filters. This is a component that we already built and lots of people already have it. But there's four, at least from what we could tell, four big steps that you need to really get the filters working properly within your
Okay.
project. So you can take the components, use them for free, implement them, and kind of do kind of your own self-learning and reverse
Nice.
engineering. But if you want to actually learn how we built it, I'll be doing live recordings. There'll be documentation. There will be suggestions on how to optimize your project to best use the components. The courses will support the UI kit with some really in-depth discussion on how to best use the UI
That's
kit.
cool. I love it. Because that's kind of the documentation, but also you're explaining how to use WeWeb at the same time. So it's cool for us. I think along with the academy, because you know that Joyce is working on the academy, it's one of the best way to learn WeWeb, like what you're doing. So yeah, really, really loving it. Yeah.
Yeah. The academy is incredible. It was super helpful, and obviously, a lot of the lessons from the academy are making their way into this content as well. We just want to take maybe some of the principles. We've used them in some different ways to get the desired result. And for example, how do I layer on a free text search, multi-select, and a radio button all into one collection list and get that table to show properly? We'll do a deep dive into how to do all of that in WeWeb. So
yeah, that's cool.
That's the goal of courses.
That's really cool because we want the academy to be kind of like broad, so like explain principles and then how to apply this. I think what you're doing is a good way to like apply it to a specific use case, because most of the time we get asked, even during office hours, to do specific tutorials on, I don't know, like one specific use case. The thing is, there are so many use cases you can do with WeWeb, and that's a cool thing, but that's, we can't cover everything. So hopefully we thank you, all the community for doing them. And that's a thing we want to do also with the marketplace, that letting you create opinionated components, UI kits, templates, so that everybody can find what they need for their project, because we know that WeWeb is not the easiest tool to use. We want to be close to web standards, but making it really versatile. So, and what you will create, like for example with the UI kits on the marketplace, will definitely help people that are not used to the standards, So yeah.
So will the marketplace be able, so we can sell
Yeah.
UI kits? Can you also sell like completed projects?
I think you'll be able to sell templates, projects. So templates will be kind of like project, because if you want to sell like an Airbnb or Uber-like project, you can. UI kits, components, and at the beginning there won't be plugins because we still need to finalize the API to develop plugins, but in the end there will be plugins too. So because we're working on plugins right now, but if someone wants to do a plugin, like for example for HubSpot, you'll be able to do it on the marketplace. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's really
hopefully. That's a
really
big thing.
exciting.
So hopefully we'll be on time. Cool.
Hey, like I said, Christmas present, first thing in the year. That's great. So yeah, the courses, we have two that we found to be the most common use case.
Yeah.
So stacking filters on WeWeb collections, and then implementing a dynamic or responsive app shell for desktop, tablet, and mobile. Yeah, those are the two that we're just editing now, the videos, and they'll be posting them for anybody who creates an account.
And what are your plans for the next courses and the next elements of the UI kit?
Yeah, good question. So we had a request to recreate a few, not Airbnb, but some other like marketplace style websites. So we're going to be doing a few like full application, like end-to-end courses on how to connect your data sources to the templates we've already made. So imagine we could create Airbnb, you just connect your sources to it, and then you're good to go. Yeah, we're going to do a deep dive into pretty much all the components that we have on WeWeb already and how just to use them. Those will be free courses. They'll be 10 to 20 minutes each, and really easy to watch.
Nice.
And then any feedback from the community is really going to set the roadmap. So we've got about 5 things that people want
Yeah.
to see, and then as we get more feedback, we'll
So
keep
where
creating
can
it.
they ping you if they want to like propose stuff? Twitter?
Twitter so Twitter or X, however you want to say it, is probably the best. And now I'm seeing it. We don't have a contact us button on our website, so that's probably really important to add. So
Yeah,
we'll
it's
add
on
that
your
one.
Twitter in the chat. Nice. And by the way, about the templates, because I think that's a really great idea. People are asking them all the time. What we see, if you want a feedback on this, is that people are also asking for like Xano or Supabase backends along the way, and we are working with them to propose it, for example, later on the marketplace, but like having templates that come pre-configured with a Xano snippet, for example. You know?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. Yeah. That's definitely what we can also add into the UI kit. So pretty much like the complete package. You buy it
Yeah,
one
you
time,
just
you
have
can
to
do the
change
whole
your
thing.
API key and you're done, I think.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's
That's
not
really
for
cool.
right now, because that's something we need to. By the way, we'll be at the No Code Summit in a few weeks in Paris with the Xano team. So we'll talk about it with them. But that's definitely something we have in both our roadmaps. And then we want to do this with Supabase, for example, or like, I don't know, FastGen, you know, like all kind of backends. So yeah, that's definitely something that will come also. Yeah.
That's very
Nice.
cool. That's
So
awesome.
does anybody have any other question for Chad while we're here? Like, do you want to use the UI kit now, or did you use it already? How do you find it? Would be cool to know.
Yeah, we did 0. I think we had 4 or 5 people find us just through a Google
Nice.
search, which was very surprising, and it was really cool. Yeah, on the website you can get the UI kit for free. Again, for all the folks who are still waiting, we plan on creating those files today and tomorrow and sending them out, and then we'll refresh it in December or January with the proper classes whenever that becomes available. And then in the meantime, we have the courses that will be available probably second week of
Nice.
October. So
And are you still helping people
yeah,
as an agency too?
we are. So we're taking a maximum of 5
Mhm.
clients per month. Right now we
Okay.
have 3. So there's 2 other spots that we'd be happy to work with some folks. And we can use the WeWeb UI kit. We can use it as the base and adjust it
Mhm.
to your brand. Or we can start from scratch, working in Xano and Airtable and Supabase.
Nice. So if everybody has a big, I don't know, like marketplace, for example, because you said it, that he or she wants to do on WeWeb, we know that sometimes like the learning curve can be a bit steep. So using the UI kit is great, the courses, but if you want to totally outsource it, feel free to ping Chad. Yeah, he'll done it for you. I mean, as we said, Chad is like a
Yeah.
early user of WeWeb, so he knows everything. I think you're better than you're definitely
Oh
better
no.
than me, for example. But yeah.
I don't want to take on that description.
No, but definitely, I think you were one of the first
Yeah,
partner
we've taken I
agency.
think 3.
So yeah,
Okay, that's awesome. That's really cool. We've taken 3 products live to market since the first week of
nice.
August, which is really cool. So yeah, I know one of them is on Wall Street. Somebody's
Whoa,
like using it for like bond trading and
I
stuff.
was not
It's
even
pretty
aware
cool.
of this. Nice,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, you can sign up on the website for free. We'll send it out as soon as we have it. And then any feedback, we'd love to hear
Mm,
from you on X, or we'll add a contact page. And yeah.
nice. Seems like we don't have any more questions. So thank you a lot, Chad. That was really cool to see this, and thank you especially for like making this UI kit available to everybody for free. That's awesome.
Mm.
And in the meantime, we'll see each other next Tuesday for our next office hour. No, we are doing office hours every week. Next live is not right now because we'll do a small pause, but we'll do a new one, I think, with the Xano guys and with Lachlan. So we don't know about what, but probably around the new templates and AI. And in the meantime, feel free to check out WeWeb, check out WeWebUI at wewebui.com. Ping Chad on X dash or Twitter. I'm not even sure to say it, but yeah. And yeah, see you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.